Good morning. Today I'm going to talk to you about my service learning project that has to do with incorporating community outreach. I completed my SLP on organizing our Spring Creek High School Trades Day on April 23rd from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. This year, we decided to go with a theme that is Spring into Action with Different Trades. It is an exciting informational event where students can explore a variety of trades through hands-on demonstrations and being able to ask questions about the trades' interests themselves. And whether the student is interested in carpentry, plumbing, electrical work, or automotive technology, they have the opportunity to engage and make connections with these professionals. Looking at the student demographics at Spring Creek High School, we have 61.2% are Hispanic, 0.1% American Indian, 3.4% is considered other, 12.8 is African American, and 22.5 is white. Looking at the special populations, 13% of our students are considered English language learners, with 10% of our student population having some sort of IEP. The enrollment level is currently at 218 ninth graders, 175 10th graders, 186 11th graders, and 163 12th graders. The purpose of my SLP project was the Trades Day initiative was not just a one-time event. It's something that's going to happen annually, but it was a strategic response to specific needs identified within the Spring Creek High School. We talked about data reviewed showed that while there was general community support, there was no documented evidence of formal business partnerships. This project, this Trades Day, was designed to fill that void. Organizing the Trades Day was a primary vehicle that connects the students with industry professionals, with giving them that real world career exposure that they previously lacked. We have people that come in, our staff members will have guest speakers, but it's different when the kids can go walk around and kind of see demonstrations, or those, like a plumber might have a demonstration that the kids can participate in and they can get that hands-on experience. And then the final goal of my SLP was to move beyond occasional participation and instead embed these partnerships into our school improvement plan to ensure that they are measurable and sustainable. That way, the community can have a say and help and support our students. So that way, they can help aid in our students' success. When I first started looking at what I wanted to do for my SLP project, I looked at the research about community and parent involvement, and we don't have none at the high school level. And so that was something that was really important, especially since a lot of our students do not go to a post-secondary college or education. So that was very important for us to have. So the students can see, even if you don't go to college, you can still be successful. Again, when looking at the data, I sent this question out to my staff at Spring Creek that stated, do you feel that parents and guardians currently have a clear understanding of academic expectations in your classroom? 35% said maybe, 35% said yes, and then 30% said no. So whenever I was breaking down the data, that 65% either said maybe or no. And that may not be a big deal to a lot of people, but that means parents either have a slight information of what's going on in the classroom, or they have absolutely no idea what's going on in the classroom. And then looking at our 2024-2025 student characteristics participation, Spring Creek was sitting at 63.3% of students that attend Spring Creek High School that are considered an economically disadvantaged. So having that community support is really important when it comes to student success. So looking at my Trades Day timeline, I spent about 13 hours of preparation, probably a little bit more, on getting this Trades Day event out and ready and moving. I did set up a committee of core teachers, CTE teachers, and our ESL teacher help me, so that way we could have all 40 different companies and businesses come out and talk to our kids and do these informational sessions with them. So that way I did not have to specifically reach out to 40 vendors myself. I had some help, and I'm very appreciative of my committee. And then our foods 1 and 2 students are going to actually be the ones cooking for our vendors. And so that was awesome that they're able to do that for us. And then having to just execute the trades day and put everything together, it's been a long process, but a good process, so that way if they decide to do it again next year, they're not just starting out from ground zero. So the purpose of this SLP in the description is that way I could take the juniors and seniors at Spring Creek High School, which is a total of 330 students, and connect them with the industry professionals, so that way we could bridge that gap between the classroom theory, so what they're learning in their math, science, social studies, and CTE courses, into the workforce reality. It's very important because our graduation rate is 83%, and we want that to increase. But we also understand that a lot of our students do not go to a post-secondary education. And so allowing them to see that they could go into a trade and still be successful is very important to us at Spring Creek High School. And then I worked with teachers to align the event with our CTE goals, because that is the main thing about CTE is we want to get these students into a trade if they're interested into a trade, whether it's welding, carpentry, plumbing, HVAC, whatever it may be. So they can be exposed to those soft skills that it's going to take to be successful. And then I managed all aspects of the event operations. So whether it was making a map, calling vendors, calling businesses, setting up meetings, checking to make sure everything was good, ordering, like I made some little cups. They're not little cups, but like straw cups that says SCHS Trades Day, for the vendors, to give them a little thank you for taking the time out of their day to come and talk to our students at Spring Creek, because it is so important to have that community support. Looking at the stakeholder and research language, focusing on the importance of it, the research from Mayer highlights that structured and meaningful community involvement systems significantly enhance student outcomes. This is important finding as it underscores the need for schools to engage in actively with their communities. Unfortunately, there were 2 noticeable challenges that I saw in the research, or the stakeholder language. And one's the prevailing perception that student success rests solely on the schools, which limits potential collaboration. And the second one was the lack of documented evidence showing active business partnerships, which means we're missing out on valuable resources and support that could benefit our students. These challenges present an opportunity for us to rethink and restructure our approach to community engagement. By recognizing that there is a gap, we can begin to build a stronger, more effective partnerships that share the responsibility for student success. So, the impact of my SLP, the Trades Day has allowed the community to come into Spring Creek High School and become an active stakeholder for student success. This ensures that the school is not an island, but a hub of community resources for our students. Since I've reached out to a lot of our community members that are also business owners, they now are willing to come out and talk to our schools, and they want to be an active part of our community. With the documented gap, the Trades Day gave a direct access to professional networks that the students might not otherwise have. Being that a lot of our students do not or will not go into a post-secondary education, this Trades Day allows them to put their information out there or say, hey, you might have a job opening in a year and a half, keep me in mind, or something to that extent. But it's giving our students the why staying in school is very important. And the school can now sustain this event every year without starting from scratch. I'm able to share, and I have shared everything that I've done with my career development coordinator at our school. So next year, if I'm not there, or whoever wants to take it over next year, we'll be able to successfully create this trades day without starting from ground zero, but making it effective for our students. Another couple of things that impacts my impact of my SLP, the student population, which we discussed earlier, was 61.1% Hispanic and 13% are English learners. This project specifically allowed our school communities um, to value the non-English speaking families by coordinating outreaches that showed, these students that you don't have to go to college. You could go into a trade and be successful. One thing that we talked about with this trades day is we have a welder that came out and talked to our students, and he's making 3 times as much as I'm making, and I have a 4-year degree. And this is his basic starting out. But it gave our students an eye-opening experience of, I can be successful in this world if for some reason I decide not to go into a post-secondary education. And then Trades Day successfully aligned community participation with the CTE curriculum. It showed the students that are taking our CTE courses, why we have the curriculum that we have, and how our CTE courses are helping them be successful. And then specifically targeting the trades is a higher value platform for students who may not be pursuing that traditional 4-year education. English language learners saw students that they were represented in the workforce. We have one specific that comes to my mind was our Sanchez Roofing Company, and he's one of the ones that will call me or my construction teacher every year and say, hey, do you have any seniors that are graduating and they need a job? I've got an opening. And so that's very important to us. Being that we're presenting this on April 21st, and my event is not till April 23rd, I do not have any pictures, but they will be uploaded shortly after. Thank you for listening to my Trades Day SLP project.